Peace, family. This video right here is about Venus Ankh frequency. Now, we're speaking about the Ankh. We know that the Ankh is symbolic to a woman's womb and her ovaries, etc. But what we also got to understand is the Ankh was the astrological marker used by our African Egyptian ancestors to reference the astrological or solarly prominent energies coming from the planet Venus. If you go look up the planet Venus right now, as regards to its astrological symbol, you're going to see it's an Ankh. It's a circle with two little, with a 180-degree line going horizontally and another one going vertically. So with that being said, the Ankh is the astrological sign for Venus used by our ancestors, and it's going to be synchronized with the ancient feminine energy. Now, my other video, you also heard me detail when you go look up the astrological sign for Venus, you get the horns, right? Now, we're not talking about Saturn in regards to the horns. We're talking about the 5-point star with the Baphomet inside of it. Now, why is this important? Because when you're dealing with astrology, the planet Venus, every 8 years, creates a 5-point star in regards to its orbit. So now, why is this important? We got to deal with how we've been switched off the matrilineal system and why we lived according to a matrilineal system. Now, I did another video called Ancient Feminine Energy months ago. Go watch it because it's directly relevant and it corresponds with this video and in synchronization with this video. Now, with that being said, the ancient feminine principle is what helps to raise your kundalini energy. Now, we're dealing with switching the frequency, right? Before religion came, we were living matrilineally. So, but for example, before Christianity came, we already know in Kemet, the women ruled the civilization. In Islam, right? Before you had Allah, A-L-L-A-T, you had Allah. Before you had Allah, A-L-L-A-H, you had Allah, A-L-L-A-T, which was a feminine goddess that they let's not say worship, but drawed spiritual frequency from before the European Neanderthal went over there, conquered it, and turned Allah into Allah. So I can go pinpoint down every religion right now and show you where the deity was a female first before she was a male. I'm not going to do that because that's not what this video is about. You can do that research on your own. I'm just giving you a few. So when you go prove the Arabic to yourself, I didn't disprove the Christianity 1,000 times on my channel how the black woman is God. I'm not wasting time on it. So with that being said, get back on the frequency. Now, planetarily and spiritually, we have been reshifted into an over-masculated society, aka a patrilineal society. Now, when you're dealing with Satanism or the worship of the planet Saturn, right? Venus is Friday, all right? Saturn is Saturday. Now, Venus in Greek mythology is Aphrodite. Saturday in Greek mythology is Kronos. Kronos is the father of Zeus. Follow me here. Aphrodite is no more than a Greek copycat of the Egyptian goddess Isis, which is Friday, Venus. And Saturday, Saturn, okay? Kronos is nothing more than a Greek god copycat of Osiris. And Kronos' son in Greek mythology is Zeus. Zeus is nothing more than a copycat god of Horus. So Kronos and Zeus is Osiris and Horus. Now, when you're dealing with Christianity, right? In Christianity, Jesus is the son of God, right? Nobody never seen God. He's the mind. In Egyptology, in Egyptology, Horus is the son of Osiris. Osiris is the king of the underworld. And in Greek mythology, Zeus is the son of Kronos. This is where you get Jesus from. Hey, Zeus. It's the combination of the word Horus and Zeus. Hey, ruin Zeus. Hey, Zeus. So Jesus today is nothing more than a molested and perverted version of the original African deities, Horus and Osiris. And in this case, Horus being fused with Zeus. Now, why is this important? Satan and Jesus is the same person. This is why Satan and Jesus in the Bible, as I keep saying, is referred to as the morning star. The morning star is the planet Venus. Remember, every 8 years, the planet Venus literally creates a 5-point star in regards to its travel on its orbit. So now, why is it important? When you look at the Baphomet and the satanic symbol, right? Inside the 5-point star, you always get the horns. So once again, you see satanic worshipers always doing the horns. The point of the patrilineal system and Satanism is to suppress and demonize female energy. This is why in the Bible they tell you all sin come from Eve and you get your period because a woman sinned and women is this and this is a man's world and blah 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 blah. And then the goat is symbolic to fertilization. But in the Masonic lodges, you know you gotta have sex with the goat. in order to, they call it riding the goat, in order to go up rank sometime. And the raping of the goat is symbolic to the raping of the womb, of the pillaging of female energy. When you look at the spiritual beings who have now conquered this planet and mentally polluted this planet, all they do is forcefully extract from all feminine wombs. Not just physical, biological, or humanoid women. They raping the planet of oil, resources, everywhere they go. They are extracting and not putting back. So when we're dealing with the imbalanced frequency, this is important because the planet Venus is closer to the sun than the planet Saturn. The planet Venus is getting more divine cosmic electricity, aka more divine solar solar messages that it can transfer to us, opposed to the planet Saturn. So our days of the week have been perverted, and our spiritual source in regards to which we grasp information from has been shifted away from feminine energy, because the feminine energy bestows, it holds the most powerful divine messages that we can download as melanated beings. So when we talking about switching your ideology, Christians, Muslims, motherfucking any I don't even feel like going down the line. Any religious doctrine, right? Judaism, Catholicism, Catholicism, whether you're a Protestant, Baptist, any of that. All of these religions are turning you away from the divine physical principle. Now, when we're talking about education is predicated more towards the planet Saturn, aka a patrilineal system, which is overmasculated. So when we're dealing with, why we're not a spiritual people here in America, the Western Hemisphere, right, deals with the left hemisphere of your brain. Everything is over logical. There's no emotion involved. There's no spirituality involved. There's no insight involved. As soon as you show some people say you're being too emotional and da-da-da-da-da, that ain't how men's supposed to act, and this, that, and the third. And what's happening is we are having an imbalance in our frequency. So just like I broke down in my biological computer lecture I just did in California, if you was live there, you know what I was breaking down in regards to the brain. When you are constantly doing critical thinking and constantly learning and constantly being analytical, void of any creativity or spiritual, let's say, volume to digest, because the right hemisphere of your brain deals with creativity, insight, spirituality, etc. When you are void of that, you become overmasculated, because the left hemisphere of your brain deals with the right hemisphere of your body. So with that being said, when you look in America, the majority of people who live in America is right-handed, because we use the left hemisphere of our brain more than the right side. Now, why is this important? If you keep somebody dependent on the left hemisphere of their brain, they never get to balance their brain. And an unbalanced brain cannot produce neuromelanin, which would then raise the kundalini up in the spine to push open the pineal gland, which separates the third and fourth ventricle of your brain. That will release that neuromelanin liquid that will stimulate your dipple antennas and allow you to have a direct connection to the cosmos in regards to being the Most High. This is why in religion they say the pastor, the father, always is the one that has the direct connection with the Most High, when really that is just symbolic to African people in regards to our natural connection to the cosmos with our pineal glands. So the fact that the left hemisphere of your body, aka the right hemisphere of your brain, is being made obsolete and pushed out of the picture, aka the feminine principle, the feminine energy principle, you will never have oneness balance as a being. So the point of Satanism, the Freemasonry, Illuminati, all these funky ass secret societies that's running around here fucking this planet up with their goofy asses, the whole point of their goddamn organizations is to keep you imbalanced as a being. Because once you're imbalanced as a being, you can fit their agenda. They are a patrilineal, aka overmasculated sector, and now you are being alternated, your being is being alternated to become an overmasculated being. So you got, now what they doing with the music now is they making the men feminized, overly feminized, and they making the women overly masculated, because they trying to use your subconscious need for the lack of the opposite emotion. So men went from being too goddamn tough to now they too goddamn feminine. And then women went from being too goddamn, let's say, mushy, or too goddamn, they just push over easy. Now they overmasculated. So women don't know how to be, submissive righteously or be feminine anymore. They want to curse you out and talk to you like they a dude. And then men don't know how to be righteous and masculine anymore. They want to be overly feminized, or they want to be too strong and be woman beaters. So that being said, it's because the energies inside you are being imbalanced, because you're praying and you're calling upon energy on incorrect times and incorrect days and incorrect intervals of time and day and space, continents in order to receive solar energy from a planet that's overmasculated. Venus is a feminine energy. Saturn is a masculine energy because Venus is a feminine planet and Saturn is a masculated planet. So you're calling for masculine energy from a masculated God, aka because you think God is a he, and some of you motherfuckers be talking about some God don't got no color and still say he. So you think God is a he, Jesus is a he, Allah is a he, the planet Saturn is a he. All your holidays is predicated upon the planet Saturn. If you a devil worshiper, the devil still to you is a he. So your God and your devil is both. The motherfucker in your life that you believe is good is a he. The motherfucker in your life that you believe is bad is a he. You have no divine deity in your life that you see as a she. And the only divine deity in your life that you see as a she is Eve, which is, they tell you, is the mother of all civilizations. And she go right with the devil. She's the reason for all the sin. So that being said, you have allowed them to pervert your pentagram. Your pentagram is the 5-point star. The 5-point star is not a devil Masonic ideograph. It symbolizes the motherhood. 5-point stars. Each point has a cycle of life in regards to the woman's existence. Birth, point 1. Then when you get to the second point, menstrual cycle, point 2. Then when you get to the third point at the bottom right, motherhood. She has a child, point 3. And then when you get to the fourth point at the bottom left, menopause, which when she loses her ability to be fertile. And then the last point at the left hemisphere of the pentagram is death. So you got birth, menstrual cycle, motherhood, menopause, death. But then that's been perverted by overmasculated patrilineal Masons. And now they have made you become a devil worshiper. A devil is just the word live spelled backwards. You are now living in the opposite frequency of feminine energy. You're now living in a masculated motherfucking energy. And this is why the age of Pisces was so important for them to manipulate, because Pisces just means unsure duality. We were living in a time period for the last 2,000 years of yin and yang, but no balance. So you got God, devil, yes, no, left, right. But nobody chose the middle way, because Pisces was a frequency where the middle way was almost made obsolete. So that being said, this is why ancient teachings and ancient wisdom recordings were almost made obsolete during this time period, and we were indecisive and predicated upon. We're able to be manipulated upon the religious predications of our oppressor. So that being said, and I'm gonna do a video on the middle way, so don't worry about that film. I'm gonna break that down. But with that being said, and get back on point, you have to understand the Ankh, the ancestors been telling you that you get your picture, you'll get your energy from your black woman. Period. I already broke down in my last video. Y'all need to go watch it. If you ain't see it, ancient feminine energy. If a female is the only one who can make a male erect without no physical contact. Period. Women give you extra strength. When you do things predicated upon the woman being the source of your intent, it always comes out better. If you fight somebody over $20, you're not gonna fight them as hard as versus if they trying to talk to your girl. Or as if they trying to abuse your daughter. If you playing basketball, I always give this example. You playing basketball with your friends, y'all playing basketball. You don't really start playing hard until a bunch of girls walk up and sit on that bench. Now you want to take your shirt off, dunk, cross. You want to be and one on the court. So that being said, even football, cheerleaders, everything you do is predicated upon a female. Period. You got dressed, you got handsome, you got cute, because you knew that a female would be somewhere where you're going to be, and you need that frequency and you need that energy. So our ancestors understood the existence of that energy, not just on our women, not just in our black women on the planet, but coming directly from the planet Venus themselves. And they use this sexual energy, this ancient feminine sexual energy, to raise the kundalini energy up from their first chakra all the way to their pineal glands to elevate themselves into God consciousness. So with that being said, you have to understand you've been perverted to do everything in this world predicated upon not having a woman as your intent, but subconsciously you crying out for the frequency of a woman. So all you niggas be saying, oh, okay, it's about money, I don't chase female. Why you chase money then, nigga? Why you chase money? Because you know females want to be secure and they want a man who look nice and can financially provide for them. Because if women didn't care about money, you wouldn't chase money, nigga. If women cared about rocks and pebbles, nigga, you would be trying to rob niggas and kill niggas for rocks and pebbles. So cut it out. So that being said, everything we do, we are being reprogrammed to believe that it's for an intent within the matrix, when actually it's a subconscious intent, and we're being guided to risk our lives trying to obtain materialistic things, and we tricking ourselves to believe that it's other than that, and it's other than that in which it really is for. So with that being said, everything you do is predicated upon feminine energy. Period. 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 You want to be a rapper. You want to be a basketball player. You want to be a football player because you know that's going to bring you more attention. That's going to attract you female attention. It's not saying everything you do is for a woman, but subconsciously as a black man, everything you do should be to build and uphold the power of the woman of your race, because your race can only rise to the level that you hold your woman. So the black race right now, we are at the bottom of the totem pole because we regard our woman at the bottom of the totem pole, and we even receive our spiritual energy from a celestial being, because a planet is a living being, from a celestial being in our solar system that's not even a woman energy anymore. So when you want to say we built pyramids, niggas didn't build pyramids off no Saturn frequency. We built pyramids off of Venus frequency, off of female motherfucking frequency, and the Ankh is the motherfucking artifact left behind by the ancestors to remind your silly ass of that. So with that being said, when we built and had the greatest civilization ever, which was actually ran by women, whether you niggas want to admit it or not, we were using female frequency. Wasn't none of no homosexuality or none of that shit going on in Egypt that they lying to you about. Wasn't none of that. So that motherfuckers have 4 or 5 wives. So don't let these, that's why they made polygamy illegal in America now, because they know the power of the female frequency. Once you get a strong black man surrounded by a numerous amount of strong black women. Imagine if you had one Malcolm X married to 5 Assata Shakurs on every block. Okay? And now that's why, and then when you think of that, now you understand why they made polygamy illegal. Because now that's 5 Malcolm X's or Assata Shakurs coming out of that divine womb every motherfucking year. And they can't have that. So that being said, getting back on point, the Ankh is the physiological artifactual symbol of the planet Venus. It was to let you know this is where we draw our frequency from in regards to certain days and times of the solar system, which I broke down in one of my latest videos I dropped on how certain planets are powerful at certain intervals of the weeks, on certain intervals of the month in regards to 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th weeks, as well as days. So that video is called Planetary Prayer Frequency. Check that out. Now with that being said, family, y'all gotta understand that there is a power untapped into by the majority of sleeping Negroes in this country that is at our fingertips. All we have to do is become aware of it and conscious of it. Once you become aware of it and conscious of it, you can start working towards it. Once you start working towards it, you begin to achieve it. Once you achieve it, you can harness it. Once you harness it, you can use it. And once you begin to use it, you begin to build up the melanated light being that is yourself, as well as the expressions of yourself around you, aka the African people and culture. So with that being said, family, understand the sacred sciences that are really being in front of your face and was really being perverted. This is why women are being over-sexualized in the public eye, because they understand that the sexuality of a woman is not her physiological self, it's her energetic self, the frequency of a woman. The frequency of a woman is the most powerful frequency on this planet, and if that can be manipulated, the person whose that frequency is meant for can also be manipulated. So yes, it's great that we have the most beautiful, powerful woman on the planet, but it's not great that we have been psychologically taught to mistreat and abuse that frequency. Once we begin to uplift and uphold that frequency, we will begin to uplift and uphold our planet. And this is not just with the black woman herself. This is with the black woman in regards to her celestial self, the planet Earth. Treat the Earth better. Stop littering. Stop helping these Caucasians destroy our cosmic mother. The planet Venus, that's also a female. We're going to call her the black goddess Venus planet, okay? Start going back to feminine principles of spirituality. We don't mean being homosexual. We mean getting fucking rid of these goddamn European deities, holidays, religions, and cultures, and motherfucking falsified ass university curriculums, and go back to the ways of African spirituality, which is oneness. Nature builds physical reality predicated upon elements. Elements are created by electrons. Electrons are feminine energy. Protons and electrons exist in an atom. Protons are positive. Electrons are negative. Negative and positive do not mean bad or good. It means feminine and masculine. Once you balance yourself back out, you balance your brain. If your brain is not balanced, it cannot generate neuromelanin in order to be stored. It cannot generate neuromelanin, which is produced by the neuromelanin nerve tract in your brain, to be stored in the third ventricle of your brain in order to be released once the feminine energy combines with the proper balance of masculine energy and circumnavigates his way up to 33 vertebrae in your spine in order to release this frequency. So with that being said, I did a video of Fairwell University called Chakra Energy in the Spine. Go check it out. So that being said, understand the purposeful imbalance that is being created for you to exist within. If you continue to deny the power of feminine energy, or you harnessed it incorrectly, you will continue to come out either over feminized as a man or void of that which makes you powerful. So religion has a big role in the demeaning of the African woman, because it's predicated upon patrilineal lies, which only give women the role of being bringers of sin. So with that being said, if your God is a man and your devil is a man, and the woman of your religion gets no credit for anything except for bringing sin upon the world, right? Then 9 times out of 10 you are worshiping a religion that was created by Freemasons. And with that being said, those are still connected to satanic sorcerers. So with that being said, when you see that 5-point star in that pentagram and you see that gold inside of there, just know that that means that's like a calling card of secret societies saying that we are raping and pillaging the female energy, meanwhile leaving you devoid of it, and we have replaced your natural connection to that with our fluke ass fuck nigga religions such as Christianity, Islam, Judaism, etc. So with that being said, have you been victimized and cheated out of your goddamn natural connection to the divine black female's principle? If so, call 1-800 wake your dumb ass up, cause you've been motherfucking mentally tricked. So with that being said, family, wake up, wake up. Our ancestors left this shit behind for us to see. So with that being said, stop just wearing the Ankh, thinking you motherfucking cute cause you got an Ankh on. Understand what it is you really harnessing and the powers that you really have available to you. And with that being said, the black woman is God. I love y'all. Peace.